kiddos, welcome to math. So before we begin, I'd like you to go ahead and pause this video so that you can click on the attendance link on my math webpage. That way I'll know that you participated today. And then you can continue. So go ahead and do that now. Oh, make sure that your speakers or headphones are on because you're definitely going to want to hear some stuff. So for today, we are going to learn how to divide with remainders. And so part of that is going to be a couple of videos that you're going to have some options for that have some different methods and different types of problems. In the first video, it's going to explain a method for dividing called long division. You may have heard of that before. It's going to show you how long division is used to solve short problems like 8 divided by 3. And so it'll be a short, quick problem, but you're going to learn how to do this method called long division. The second video is going to explain the exact same method called long division, but it's going to have a longer problem, and because of that, there are going to be more steps, like 23 divided by 5. That might be one of the problems. So for this one, if you're like, okay, video number 1, totally got it. But then when you get to video number 2 and they have longer problems, that's where you're going to want to look for. And then video 3, well, that one's a little bit more of a challenge. That's even higher up. So for this one, it's going to explain how to use long division for multi-step problems that are bigger, like 528 divided by 8. So that's going to be your options. You don't have to watch all 3 videos. You get to pick which ones are going to be better, but we're going to take a little preview first. So first, a heads up on that expert vocabulary so that the videos are going to make a little bit more sense. So we have 3 new words for today. And the first 2, both of them start with D-I-V-I, which makes it a little bit confusing, but that's okay. We're going to work through them. The first one is called the dividend. The dividend is the number that you're going to break apart, kind of like the markers that are inside of a box. And if we look at the picture in the black box on the right side of the screen, we can see that 12 is the dividend. That's a number also inside a box, just like the markers. All right, next word. The next word is divisor. That's the number of groups that you're going to split the dividend into. So it's like people who are going to share the markers that are in the same package or box. So if there were 12 markers in a box, 4, so I'm looking at the number in the black box right now, 4 would be the divisor because there are 4 people that are going to want some markers. But your job is to find out how many is the sum, S-O-M-E. That then is answered with the quotient. The quotient is the number that will end up in each group, like how many markers each person gets. This is also called the answer of a division problem. So the answer is the quotient, and that quotient now is telling us in the black box, well, each of those 4 people will get 3 markers out of the total of 12 markers that were in the box. So if you need to look back to figure out which number is which, you can always look back at this screen. So let's take a look at what that did look like. Here is a box of 12 markers, and they're laid out on the table. So do you remember what that total group of markers is called? If you said the dividend, you're correct. So the dividend are the number of markers that we have laying out on the table there. That's 12. But our divisor is 4. So the 12 divided by 4. Let's divide those up now. All right, so I split them up into 4 different groups, or I divided them into 4 different groups. And then to figure out the quotient, I'm going to count how many markers were in each group. Well, the first group has the gray, pink, and red. That's 3 markers. Then I have orange, yellow, and green. Well, that's 3 markers as well. Light blue, dark blue, and purple are in the third group. And then I have a kind of light peach, brown, and black in the 4th group. All right, so my 4th group, those are my divisors. But then how many were in each of those groups? You're right, it was 3, and that number is the quotient. So here's a preview of video number 1. It's going to be from BrainPop Junior. And so from this, you're going to get to see how can you divide amounts that do not make equal groups. I love this video because I really get to see how things are being divided or split up amongst people. This one, for video number 2, I really like Math Antics here. It's a whole YouTube series. he's going to start showing you how to take some of those smaller problems that you just saw how to do in video 1, except when there's multiple steps, ones that are longer. How do you keep going? He'll show you that. And then also for Math Antics, we have video number 3. This one's going to work into longer problems like you see on the screen now with 2-digit divisors, so the 24, but then it also has multiple steps to go down. So once it gets this long, sometimes we need a little extra help. You'll get that from video number 3. In case you're wondering where this information came from today, this is based off of the Math Expressions Grade 4, Unit 3, lesson number 1 called Divide with Remainders, and it's only activity 1. There's one more activity to this that we'll go ahead and do next week. And if your family is using this, they can use Teacher's Manual, page 267, to see all of the guides that go along with it. So before we end, I want you to pause this video so that you can click on my attendance link on that math webpage just in case you didn't do it at the beginning. And that way I'll know that you participated today. And after you finish watching this video, you can go ahead, go back out just to that webpage after you do the attendance link. Then you can go watch the slideshow that you just watched in my video. And that's how you get to see the other 3 videos that you can pick from. So that will be part 2. See you guys later.